Well, good evening. First of all, my name is Micah Staff. Last year I had the pleasure of serving as the chairman of the Maryland Federation of College Republicans. And starting in June, I got the great opportunity to serve as a member of the Huntsman campaign. And right now I'm acting as a national co-chair for Students for John Huntsman, which has been a very, very fun ride. I want to apologize. I'm actually very under the weather tonight. I'm not contagious, I promise. But I'm here only thanks to the good graces of modern medical technology and advanced strength Motrin, so forgive me if I'm a little bit woozy this evening. I want to just preface tonight with one quick word, and that's that a friend of mine recently asked me, Mike, what do you think is going to come out of this Republican GOP primary? What do you think is going to come out of this? And I looked at her dead in the eye and I said, I can give you a prediction that I know 100% will come true. She said, really? I said, yes. She said, well then what? I said, a Republican will be nominated. And the honest reality is that a Republican will be nominated. For all those in this room who tend to get involved in primaries, it means that we not only love the Republican Party, we not only are committed to conservative values, but we also tend to fall in love with certain candidates earlier on than is otherwise healthy. And as a good number of friends of mine who used to work for Tim Plenty will tell you, it's tough having to either move on to another candidate or accept that your candidate's not going to be the candidate. So I just want to preface tonight by saying that while vigorous discussion and a free exchange of ideas is important and necessary as we prepare and vet the nominee to go up against the real opponent, which is Barack Obama, we need to keep in mind that, yes, while we give each other a hard time and while we air one another's dirty laundry at times, all of it's done in a spirit of fairness and of a united commitment to the idea of conservatism and republicanism. We're all regular Republicans here tonight. John Huntsman. Most Republicans, and I think most people, when looking for a presidential candidate, are interested in a combination of two things: competence and conviction. And oftentimes, we're dealt with in race as candidates who have a wonderful degree of competence or a wonderful degree of conviction, but not enough of both. Very simply, there are a few candidates on this stage here today and in the race who can say that as leaders of their state, they introduced their state's single largest historic tax cut. There are very few candidates out there who can say that they were one of the most pro-life leaders in their state throughout their entire career. There are very few candidates on that stage who can say that they made their state the best in the nation for good government, the best in the nation for business growth, the best in the nation for tax environment, the best in the nation for school choice and voucher programs, and the best in the nation for raising a family. John Huntsman can say all those things. A few other candidates can. Now there's a few things John Huntsman can take credit for. He can't say that he introduced the blueprint to Obamacare. He can't say that he supported in-state tuition for illegal aliens. And he can't say that he has no political record. My time is already up, but I just want to say we as Republicans do not have to settle. We owe it to our country, we owe it to our values not to settle. Now is not the time to go with the next in line. Now is the time to choose the candidate who is going to make the decisions that we as a country desperately need to get into the 22nd century as leaders of the world and not second place in the world. Thank you so much for your time. I appreciate it. And I thank you for
I'm supporting Governor Gary Johnson, former New Mexico governor. And I'm just going to talk about why I'm supporting him, what it is that I see in this guy. A lot of people are dismissing and saying he's got no chance of winning. That's the kind of thinking that traditionally has given us the lesser of evils candidates. People who we go to the poll and think, I don't really like this guy, but he's better than the Democrat, so I'm going to do it. But Governor Johnson actually has a very strong economic record and can lay claims to some things that no one else running can. Right now, the thing we need most in the White House is a president who is not afraid to say no. Governor Johnson, in 8 years as governor, vetoed 750 bills that came across his desk. That was more than the other 49 governors put together in that time span. And that's a guy who I want behind that desk when Congress is proposing runaway spending, government health care, government bailouts, cap and trade, or any other ridiculous bill that is going to take away our freedom, our liberty, and our money. I actually was going to come up here and use that under the weather line, but it was kind of stolen already, so thank you, appreciate that. But I actually do want to give you a chance to ask any questions, because many of you may not be familiar with the governor. He's not had a lot of chances to be on stage in these debates, so if you have any questions, let me know. Does anyone have any questions? Yes?
Where does he stand on social issues?
Governor Johnson is a social libertarian. I actually don't agree with all of his stances on the social issues myself, but because his stance is also that these issues are not federal issues and belong in the states, that's something I can support. For example, he believes Roe v. Wade was incorrectly decided. It is not a constitutionally based decision, and he would appoint justices who would not make decisions like that and would refer only to the Constitution. So that would kick it back to the states where it belongs. Any other questions? Sorry? Okay, well, seeing no other questions, yeah, like I said, this is a guy who cut taxes 14 times and did not sign one tax increase into law. This is a man who started out just as a self-made businessman, a one-man handyman operation, built it into a multi-million-dollar industry. And while many candidates like to talk about climbing the figurative mountain, Gary Johnson is the only person running who has actually climbed the mountain. He has gone to the top of Mount Everest. And that's somebody who we need in the White House, somebody of that determination, somebody who will stand up and do what needs to be done, and will not cave in the second the media come hounding him, and will not cave in when the Democrats start calling names and flinging dirt. Thank you. Have a good evening.
Director for Herman Cain. Herman is the current Republican frontrunner in many polls, and I'd like to take this time to tell you why. Herman is a prime example of the American dream. He achieved his success through hard work, determination, and integrity. Herman appreciated the opportunities that America has offered him and did not let the difficulties of living in segregated Georgia and growing up poor get in his way. Herman went to college and majored in mathematics, then earned a master's degree in computer science at Purdue University. He worked for the U.S. Navy in the ballistics missile department, so yes, he is a rocket scientist. He entered the business world for Coca-Cola when he moved into management. At Pillsbury, he made 400 Burger King stores very profitable. He took the Godfather pizza chain, which was 600 stores that were nearing bankruptcy, and he turned it into a profitable venture and later purchased the chain. He was elected national chairman for the National Republican Association, Restaurant Association, that was for you again. He became a member of the Kansas City branch of the Federal Reserve Bank, and later the chairman. He's a successful radio talk show host, and now he's running for president. Herman Cain has lived and achieved the American dream and is the best candidate to lead us. It is simple, real-world experience, vision, and results. As a true and patriotic problem solver, he will fix our nation's problems, not make excuses and blame others. He will surround himself with the best minds to accomplish this, and not just a bunch of socialist thugs. He will be open and honest and not vague and ambiguous. He will not treat the taxpayers' money like a personal slush fund used to bring social equality. He offers character instead of corruption. And unlike our current administration, he will uphold the Constitution of the United States. Some have suggested that Herman Cain's lack of political experience is a detriment to his campaign. But keep in mind that our current politicians created this mess. It seems not being a politician might just be a good thing. Herman Cain's foreign policy is an extension of Ronald Reagan's philosophy, peace through strength and clarity. Find out who your friends are, find out who the enemies are, and stop giving them money. Herman believes that government should be limited in size, scope, and influence, and that is what his 9-9-9 plan is all about. According to Arthur Laffer, an economist for Ronald Reagan, this plan will be rocket fuel for our economy. Herman also believes that life begins at conception and that marriage is between one man and one woman. Many of us here tonight have heard Herman Cain speak at local events. He speaks with the power that resonates on 3 levels. patriotism, intelligence, and personal compassion. The man rocks the room like no one else. So far, the only backlash from the level left is that the Republicans established is to say he can't win. And we say, really, most of the polls suggest otherwise. One thing that some folks do not realize, and that it's not the establishment or the media that elects Republican nominees, it's the American people. And the American people are showing that they undoubtedly want Herman Cain. We need a common sense problem solver in the White House who truly loves this country and does not bow to our enemies. Herman Cain has grassroots support, great poll numbers, and most importantly, Herman Cain has the best advantage to beat Obama. Yes, we still need hope and change, but with Herman Cain, we will get change for the better.